Hello, I am Wanderer001 and this is my review of the Western Digital My Passport Wireless. This is an external hard drive that has the added bonus of being wireless. That's kind of why you're looking at this particular one. It's going to act as a media hub for smartphones or tablets or your computer if you want to off-put photos, videos, and music files onto here and then use this as a media access point. It comes in two sizes, as in capacity, 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes. The 1 terabyte is going to run you between 200 to 180 depending on where you get it, and the 2 terabyte is going to be 250 to 220. And personally, I went with the 2 terabyte version because for the little bit of extra money, you get an extra terabyte. And obviously, because of formatting and so forth, you're not getting a full terabyte. It's more like 1.8 terabytes, but that's still a lot of space. So we're going to put this over to the side for just a minute because I'm going to show you some of the things that come in the box. Now, it does come with a quick start guide, but it's very, very thin, and I'm not even going to bother showing you that. The majority of the help files and stuff are already on the hard drive itself, but it does come with a odd flat USB 3.0 cable, which is 19 inches long. Now, compared to the USB 3.0 cable I got with my old school Western Digital 500 gigabyte hard drive, I don't like the way that this connects. It connects perfectly fine and gives good transfer speeds. However, it feels much looser than a similar cable on my old Western Digital hard drive. So that's just something to consider. You're not going to be plugged in all the time as you're mostly going to be using it in a wireless state. It also comes with a wall wart, which has the flip out prongs. And this is, again, one of the shortcomings in my opinion. It seems that the peripherals that come with the hard drive are the main downfalls of the hard drive. Again, just because of the way that this is designed, I plug it into a wall and it just kind of like, it doesn't feel secure. The USB 3 plugs in perfectly fine, feels stable, but these prongs feel like they get weighted down and you'll end up looking like that. So if you have a different wall wart, I would suggest using that. But I guess for the price, it's nice that it comes with one of these. And like I said, the cable. So those are mainly the two things aside from the quick start guide that come with this particular hard drive. So let's start talking dimensions. You're looking at 5 inches in length and 3.4 inches in width with a depth of 1 inch. And coming in at 12.3 ounces. Now, again, I'm bringing the old 500 gigabyte Western Digital drive. You can see that there is a very large size difference between these two drives. And part of that is because this is a wireless drive, so there is some extra information or extra components that have to be in this drive in order for it to function. Now, even the 500 gigabyte hard drive here is 2 years old now and a brick compared to some of the newer items that are out. Now, we're just going to put a plain deck of cards on top there because I like to do that to give you an idea of just how thick things are, or size differences. All right, so with that said, let's take a quick look around. You'll notice I've been playing here, and the top is this matte black finish, which as you may notice actually does kind of attract fingerprints quite a bit. You've got two indicator lights here. Right now they're not on. Top one is your power level and the bottom one is your Wi-Fi on or off or transmitting depending on the blinking combination. Now the power button or power light up at the top will glow green or will glow blue if the battery inside is 90% or better. It will then change to green if it's 89 to 50% charge, orange is 49 to 20, and red is 19 to 8%. And if you just get to red and the light turns off, that means the battery's dead. You need to charge it. If we take a look around the sides here, you'll notice it's just a matte plastic silver finish. We're going to get to that in a minute. And bring it to the front here. Front you have the USB connector as well as the power button, and that's just a quick one button touch to access or to attach the drive to your Wi-Fi. if your Wi-Fi router supports that. So while we're talking numbers and metrics, the hard drive inside spins at 5200 RPM. It has a standby time. Well, I did several different standby tests. So standby time when it goes into a power saver mode is about 28 hours. If you do standby with just, not allowing the Wi-Fi to turn itself off, I got 7 hours and 30 minutes, and mixed usage, allowing it to go into standby and turning the Wi-Fi off sometimes and having it not turn off sometimes, I got roughly 8 hours and 20 minutes. Now, all of those are at having the drive set for maximum performance. I did not utilize the drive very much in the power saver mode because I wanted to see how it would perform with max performance, because if it performs well in that mode, power saver mode, you're going to get a little better. So charging times, you're looking at, if you're charging from a computer, about 5 hours and 30 minutes. If you're charging via the wall wart, 3 hours, 45 minutes. The drive itself is formatted in exFAT. You can reformat the drive to either FAT32, NTFS, or HFS+. The Wi-Fi is compatible with 802.11b/g/n at the 2.4 gigahertz band. So, that's how you would connect your devices to it. Now, I have to say, because this is a wireless media hub, you are going to need to download the Western Digital MyCloud app to either your Android or iOS device in order to, one, access the media files on a smartphone, or to use your smartphone as a means of making changes to the way that this performs. You can also access it wirelessly by turning on the Wi-Fi, going to your computer, and connecting that way. You would go to the web interface by just typing into a web browser My Passport, and then be prompted to log into the hard drive. The hard drive itself can be used as a regular hard drive. You just plug the USB 3.0 into the back of the back here, and then into your computer, and it operates like a standard drive. Now, part of the reason that you are thinking about this drive, much like I was thinking about this drive, is not just because it is a media hub, because there are several other media hubs out there that perform exactly the way this does, and in some cases might be a little better and cheaper. The main reason that I got this was this portion here that we skipped before. That is an SD card slot. What that SD card slot does is allow you, while you're on the go, to put an SD card in from either a video camera or a camera and offload all of the media that's on there onto the hard drive. Now, that is what I got it for. I did not get it for use as a media hub. I did test it as a media hub, but I wanted it to offload content from my video camera when I was away on vacation. And there are other products that do that, but they are much more expensive than this. If you set there are several options that you can set up using the hub here, or the SD card slot there. One of them is you put the SD card in, and as soon as you put the SD card in, it will start copying the information off of it. If not, by default, it's not set that way, so you'd have to go into the preferences, which I'll show you in a moment via the WD MyCloud app. So you got two choices. Put the SD card in, it automatically starts reading, or don't. The other options are you put the SD card in and it'll copy, leaving information on the SD card and putting it onto the drive, or copy and delete. So all the information that would be on an SD card gets moved to here, and the SD card itself gets deleted. Now, I checked that out using a 28 gigabyte file. So copying from the SD card to the hard drive was about 30 minutes. Moving, copy and delete from the SD card to the hard drive was about 35 minutes. Now, this is because I have the latest firmware. Early on when this product came out, this was not the case. It was much, much longer, but the firmware seems to have fixed it, so it's only a 5-minute difference. Now, if you're looking for a comparison of transfer rates, the hard drive to a computer via USB 3.0 is about 10 minutes, averaging 50 to 60 megabits per second. USB 2.0 is 20 minutes, averaging 30 megabits per second. All right, the last bits of information before I show you the Western Digital app. The Wi-Fi itself will turn, actually here, let me turn that on so you get an idea of what some of the lights on the front look like. So when the Wi-Fi pops up, that's going to be blue. The Wi-Fi will turn itself off in 11 minutes, even if it's in high performance mode. So it's got a built-in power saving feature there. The hard disk will spin down in roughly 6 minutes plus or minus. And so there you got the green light for the power and the blue light indicating the Wi-Fi is on. Now, I also forgot to mention this can be used as a wireless access point, meaning I can connect to the hard drive and the hard drive can be used as an access point on my home network. So I can connect wirelessly to this and still have internet access, as opposed to if I'm traveling and I'm just accessing the hard drive and will have no wireless access to the internet, if you want to think of it that way. All right, last bits before we get into the user interface of it. You can have up to 4 HD streams off of this device at once. If it's running in high performance mode, I got 3 hours and 87 minutes worth of playback. And using power saver mode, 6 hours and 6.5 hours. So power saver mode is definitely the way to go if you are traveling and not going to have a chance to charge this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the Western Digital My app, give you an idea of the features that I may have skipped just talking about the generic hard drive here, and give you an idea of what the user interface looks like. Now this is going to be on the Android app as opposed to the iOS. There is, again, an iOS, Android, and you can access it via a computer should you connect wirelessly to the hard drive via computer. Okay, so what I have here is my Samsung Galaxy S3 currently connected to the Western Digital wireless via the Western Digital My Cloud app. So you can see you have several tabs at the top. All is going to be everything that's on the hard drive, folders, and so forth. Photos are just that, any photos that you happen to have on here. And just a whole bunch of photos from my vacation. Now I'm going to leave that in real time so you can see how long it takes to transition between each of the individual areas. Now again, I have no music in there, so that's why, but if you look here, you can search by album, by artist, by genre, or view all tracks. And then we have the video tab here at the back. Now, the thing with the app is it does not actually play any of these videos or what have you. Everything is done through a third-party app, and I will put in the description area all of the compatible file formats for video and photo and music for the Western Digital app here. And if you just pull down, it does a refresh and checks the hard drive again to see if there's been any additions to it. And as you can see, this is kind of what things look like as it's talking to the hard drive. And now it's going to repopulate because I have some new video files that are on here. We're going to go back to all. So again, I'll put down in the description compatible formats and so forth. If we come over here, the 3 button or the hamburger button in the top left shows you device, my passport, which is right there, settings for it, add or remove, view downloads, activities, settings, information. So we'll just start at the top. Settings. Now these are also accessible via your 3 dots up here. Click on that, brings up the settings menu just in a different type. So what we're going to do is we'll go back here just so you can get an idea. We'll go into the settings. Shows you usage data. So here you've got videos. I have 50 gigs, 2.2 gigs of photos and other files, and free space on the hard drive back here. Battery showing discharge rate. If we click on that, 75% discharging, and high performance is on. Now this is one of the things I didn't like about the Western Digital app. These buttons are very touchy. Like I had to tap on it several times before it would register the fact that I was clicking on that. So Wi-Fi, if we come over there, what it's showing is that I'm connected to just the Western Digital here, and bringing up a whole bunch of different Wi-Fi access points in my location. So if I wanted to, I could click on, because it says connect to Wi-Fi network, that's currently on. I can select one of these and then this would turn into an access point. Now coming over to the SD card, you've got choices here. Right now it's set for delete after import because that's the last test I ran, and it is also set to automatically import when the SD card is set on or put into the device. If we come up here to more, you have admin features. So you have username and password if you wanted to lock down the device. Wi-Fi, we were kind of there already, but that's just a different way that you can get to it, as well as battery and media. Media, here you can see the amount of media that you have and scan activity. So it shows you if it's scanned or not. I did forget to mention that it does support DLNA as well as UPnP devices. So if you've got something that supports that, you're good to go. Firmware is just that. It will show you if it's got any firmware. Like I said, this is currently running the latest firmware because, well, if I'm going to do a review, I'm going to make sure that it has the latest firmware on it. So activity will show you the latest items that have been added to the hard drive. I'm not going to show you that. And what we're going to do is come up to the buttons here and I'll show you. You can sort. You have an option for camera, which will allow you to take a picture and upload it right to the hard drive. Upload, again, you can select photos from an internal SD card as well as any music or image files that you have on the phone itself. You can create a new folder. Those are operational tips, so it's like help me files. And then if we click on my passport settings, it's very similar to where we were before on that other settings menu. If we click more, it'll bring us over to more. So the last thing I'm going to show you is we're going to come all the way down here and show you the fact that while it has the help me videos on here, the help me video, if you'll notice, does not play, as I said, on the app itself. You have to select a different app to play it. So here, if we're going to do that, and the particular one that I'm using will allow me to resume or start over. So there you go. That is a quick look at the Western Digital My Cloud app. So I realize that that is a lot to take in, but there is a lot to talk about with this particular external hard drive. It's not just an external hard drive. It is your media hub. It is your way to offload data from a video camera or camera while you're in the field and double check to make sure that your content went onto the hard drive. Now, again, I got this because I was going away on vacation and did not want to bring my computer with me, but I still wanted to be able to offload content from my video camera while I was on the go. The write speeds from the SD card are not great, but they're acceptable. So with all that said, if you're considering something like this, I would recommend giving this a look. It's a little pricey right now because it's still fairly new, but I feel that the wireless media hub aspect as well as the offloading from an SD card kind of make it worth the price. If not, I mean, just think of it, you're getting an extra 2 terabyte hard drive that can wirelessly transmit to, smartphones, tablets, and your computer if you want. So, if you're thinking about it, I would definitely give this a long, hard look. I've been Wanderer001. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below. Thanks for watching.